What did Jesus undertake during the 3 days between his death and resurrection? Where did Jesus venture in the 3 days between his death and resurrection? Uttering the words, "It is finished," Jesus was crucified for approximately 6 hours, as detailed in the 4 Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. In his final moments, he bowed his head and yielded his spirit. Joseph of Arimathea, aided by Nicodemus, one of his followers, took down his body from the cross and prepared it for burial. His body and spirit were reunited 3 days later, leading to his resurrection from the dead. Following this event, he appeared to his disciples, beginning with Mary Magdalene, and subsequently ascended to heaven. Nevertheless, there has been widespread curiosity about the events during the 3 days between Jesus' death and resurrection. Where did Jesus venture, and what activities did he engage in during this time frame? This episode aims to provide insights into these inquiries. The Bible, especially the Synoptic Gospels, lacks a detailed account of Jesus' actions in those 3 days, also known as the harrowing of hell or the descent into hell. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John concentrate predominantly on the events leading up to Jesus' crucifixion and his subsequent resurrection. The period between his death and resurrection is more reliant on theological interpretations and traditions than on explicit biblical narratives. Nevertheless, we can gain an understanding of this crucial period. One of the most lucid revelations regarding Jesus' whereabouts during the 3 days of death is found in his conversation on the cross. According to the Bible, Jesus was crucified alongside 2 thieves. One of them implored Jesus to remember him when Jesus entered his kingdom, Luke 23 verse 42. In response, Jesus stated, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." This suggests that following his death, Jesus went to paradise or heaven. This aligns with his exit, during which Jesus declared the commitment of his spirit into the hands of God, indicating that God's presence, synonymous with bliss and eternal love, could only be found in heaven. However, an additional intriguing account of Jesus' location is found in 1 Peter 3 verses 18 to 20. The passage reads, "For Christ also suffered once for sins, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God. He was put to death in the body, but made alive in the spirit. After being made alive, he went and proclaimed to the imprisoned spirits, to those who were disobedient long ago when God waited patiently in the days of Noah while the ark was being built. In it, only a few people, 8 in all, were saved through water." This scripture can be understood in 2 ways. First, it suggests that Jesus, at some point between his death and resurrection, descended to hell or Hades to deliver a proclamation to the spirits imprisoned there. From this perspective, these spirits that Jesus addressed might be either demonic or human, and they could even be errant angels. The spirits mentioned in the passage are likely fallen angels, those who were imprisoned for transgressing God's law, including Lucifer, who deceived and turned them against their Creator. The reference to the Noahic flood indicates that the violation occurred before Noah's time. Although the passage doesn't explicitly reveal the content of Jesus' message to the imprisoned spirits, it seems improbable that it was a message of redemption, considering that angels, as stated in Hebrews 2 verse 16, cannot be saved. It is more likely that Jesus proclaimed and asserted his victory over Satan and his hosts. Therefore, from this perspective, Jesus descended to hell to declare his triumph and announce his victory over death and Satan. Another biblical passage shedding light on Jesus' activities and whereabouts during the 3 days between his death and resurrection is Ephesians 4 verses 8 to 10. The scripture reads, "When he ascended on high, he took many captives and gave gifts to his people." What does he ascend mean except that he also descended to the lower earthly regions? He who descended is the very one who ascended higher than all the heavens to fill the whole universe, as Paul referenced Psalm 68 verse 18. According to this passage, when Jesus ascended on high, he took numerous captives. This is interpreted to mean that Jesus, having secured their salvation on the cross, gathered all the redeemed individuals in paradise and transported them to their permanent dwelling in heaven. This group included figures such as Abraham, David, Joshua, Daniel, Lazarus, the thief on the cross, and all those who had previously been justified by faith, leading them from Hades, the dwelling place of the dead, to their new spiritual home. Another perspective on interpreting Ephesians 4 is that, during the 3 days between death and resurrection, Jesus conquered and confined our spiritual adversaries, namely, the devil, death, and the curse of sin. Subsequently, he ascended on high, signifying his victorious return to heaven as God. This viewpoint aligns with Matthew 12 verse 40, which states, "For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a huge fish, so the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." In conclusion, it's crucial to highlight that the specifics of what precisely occurred during those 3 days are not expressly detailed in the Bible, and different Christian traditions may have divergent viewpoints on the subject. However, we do possess Jesus' direct statements on the matter. When he said, "Today you will be with me in paradise," it instilled in us the confidence to assert that he went to paradise after declaring his triumph over death and fulfilling his redemptive mission. Thank you for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments section, and please support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. May God bless you.